The world of 90 Day Fiancé has had lots of drama, cultural differences, shocking betrayals, but nothing prepared fans for what happened between Lauren and Alexei Brovarnik. Behind closed doors, something darker was happening. For 10 months, Lauren was hiding a secret that would ruin everything. Her marriage, her public image, and her peace of mind. For almost a year, Lauren was secretly in a romantic relationship with a businessman named Joseph. What started as a private affair turned into something serious. After finding out about Lauren's hidden financial problems, Joseph promised to pay off her secret debt of $970,000. After that, their connection became even stronger. They met often at five-star hotels, showing how deep their relationship had grown. A few weeks later, Lauren found out she was pregnant. Medical tests confirmed the baby was Joseph's. When Alexei found out, he was heartbroken. They argued often, and the situation got worse. Eventually, Lauren divorced Alexei and said clearly, "I only want to marry Joseph." Alexei couldn't handle the betrayal. He attempted suicide. Later, he accused Lauren of stealing $850,000 of his savings and giving it to Joseph. The case went to court. After a long hearing, the court agreed with Alexei. Lauren was sentenced to 3 months in prison. This is not a rumor. It's not made-up tabloid gossip. It's the real, tragic downfall of Lauren and Alexei Brovarnik. They went from love to lies, from family to fallout. But why did Lauren risk everything? Was Joseph really the man she believed he was? Or was he just another mistake? For years, Lauren and Alexei Brovarnik were more than just reality TV stars. They were seen as proof that love could survive anything. Fans followed their journey from 90 Day Fiancé to raising a family in Florida. People admired their love and called them the couple who made it. Their story began like a fairy tale. Lauren met Alexei during a birthright trip to Israel. It was supposed to be a trip about her heritage, not romance. But when she met Alexei, who was calm, kind, and grounded, they quickly became close. They walked through the streets of Jerusalem, shared late-night meals, and talked about their future. When Lauren went back to the U.S., they stayed in touch through video calls. Their connection grew into love. When Alexei came to America on a K-1 visa, fans were already in love with their story. On screen, they had great chemistry. Off-screen, they faced real challenges, cultural differences, money problems, and the stress of starting over in a new place. But they made it look easy. Their marriage was seen as one of 90 Day Fiancé's biggest success stories. TLC celebrated them as proof that love could survive fame. They had 3 beautiful children, and their social media pages were filled with happy moments, vacations, birthdays, and bedtime laughs. To the outside world, they looked perfect. But behind the smiles, their life was far from it. Fame brought pressure. There were sponsorships, appearances, and the constant need to act happy. Lauren became a successful influencer, while Alexei worked and took care of the kids. But the stress was growing. After having their second child, Lauren suffered from postpartum anxiety. She wasn't as active online, and her smile didn't seem the same. Alexei was tired from work and started becoming distant. Their once strong bond became fragile. The laughter faded. Silence replaced their connection. Then came the money problems. Lauren's business expenses increased. Some deals fell through. She borrowed large amounts of money, thinking future contracts would cover it. She didn't tell Alexei, afraid he would think she was irresponsible. The bills kept coming. The secrets became heavier. Online, everything still looked perfect. The happy family, the loving couple. But behind the scenes, things were falling apart. Alexei could tell she was stressed, but thought she was just tired. "We'll get through this," he told her, not knowing the real truth. Lauren smiled and nodded, pretending to believe it. Then everything changed. She met Joseph, a charming businessman who showed up when she was at her weakest. He gave her what she was missing: attention, kindness, and understanding. What started as a friendship crossed a line. It turned into an affair that would ruin everything. Their trust, their family, and the love everyone thought was unbreakable. Because sometimes love and fame can hide deep cracks. When Lauren first met Joseph Adler, she thought of him as a way out of her problems. He was a rich businessman who seemed like he could help her fix her finances. But what started as financial support quickly became personal. Joseph was different from anyone Lauren had met. He was in his mid-40s, confident and calm. He didn't try to prove anything. He owned luxury condos, had been featured in business magazines, and moved through life with quiet power. But under all his success, Joseph was warm and understanding. He didn't talk to impress her, he truly listened. That was what Lauren had been craving. Her life had become overwhelming. Social media posts, brand deals, and always needing to be on. Even her marriage felt like a routine. Joseph noticed the little things. How she played with her hands when nervous. How her voice changed when she was hiding pain. He asked the questions no one else did. Are you really happy? Do you feel seen? Does Alexei know what you give up? Each question made her feel more understood. One day she broke down, not from sadness, but from relief. Then came the day Joseph placed an envelope in front of Lauren. Inside was a financial plan. I'm taking care of your debt, he said calmly. Lauren was shocked. Joseph, it's nearly $1 million, she said. I know, he replied, and I want to help. You deserve a fresh start. From that moment, Joseph wasn't just a friend. He became her savior. He quietly paid off her debts, one by one. Lauren told herself it was just kindness, but deep down, she knew it meant something more. Their meetings moved beyond the office. They had dinners, coffee dates, and quiet weekends that they called business. His charm made her feel safe and wanted. Lauren started dressing differently, thinking about him more than she should. Gratitude turned into admiration. Admiration became desire. One night, after a long pause between them, Joseph said softly, You don't have to pretend anymore. Lauren didn't answer. She just let it happen. Their affair wasn't wild. It was quiet, careful, and very real. Secret hotel rooms, fake names, whispered promises. Joseph gave her comfort, protection, and what felt like freedom. But every secret drew Lauren in deeper. By the time she realized she couldn't live without him, it was already too late. Joseph Adler had become her escape and her downfall, because in his world, every favor came with a price, and Joseph always made sure he got paid. Lauren had always prided herself on being in control. She was the organized mom, the successful influencer, the relatable wife. Everything about her public image said she was steady and strong. But the truth was she was drowning. The day she opened her financial dashboard and saw the total $970,000, her hands went cold. Her stomach turned. She stared at the number, unable to breathe. Almost $1 million. How did it get so bad? It wasn't one big mistake. It was hundreds of small ones. A few missed credit card payments, loans for home upgrades, sponsorship delays, business expansions that failed. Lauren believed she was building her brand, investing in her future. But the truth was harsher. She was trying to buy happiness, peace, and control in a life that was falling apart. She kept telling herself she could fix it. She just needed one big deal, one huge partnership. But time passed. The bills piled up. Debt collectors started calling. The emails became warnings. The stress was too much. That's when Joseph stepped in. When Lauren told him the real number, her voice trembled. I can't fix this, Joseph. Not without losing everything. He stayed calm. You won't lose anything, he said. I told you, I'll take care of it. She tried to stop him. You don't understand. This isn't a few thousand. It's $970,000. It's not your responsibility. Joseph leaned in. His voice was low and firm. Lauren, when I say I'll handle something, I mean it. I know people. I have the resources. You don't have to panic. He took her hand across the table. From now on, stop worrying. Let me do what I do best, fix problems. That night, Lauren couldn't sleep. The offer kept playing in her mind. She had no reason to trust him completely, but something about his voice made her believe. Maybe it was his confidence. Maybe it was her desperation. A week later, one of her creditors called. The account was paid in full. The next week, another account was cleared. She tried to trace the payments, but couldn't. They came through different companies, foreign transfers, and private accounts. It felt like her past was being erased, one debt at a time. When she asked Joseph how he did it, he smiled. Does it matter, Loren? It didn't. Not then. What mattered was that for the first time in months she could breathe again. She could sleep without worrying about another debt notice. But Alexei noticed the change in her. She was lighter, calmer, more relaxed. She started dressing up again. She began leaving the house more often, telling him she had meetings. He believed her. Why wouldn't he? This was Lauren, his wife, the woman who always stood by him. He had no idea she was meeting someone else. He had no idea their family's future was being tied to another man's money. The payments continued. So did the meetings. Joseph sent her messages like, handled another account today. You're free. Dinner tonight. You need a break. You're safe with me, Loren. Each message felt like both comfort and control. She started telling herself it wasn't wrong. Joseph was helping her, not hurting her. He didn't ask for anything, but she was wrong. He was asking for everything without saying a word. Sometimes, when she looked at him across the table, the silence between them felt heavy. It wasn't about money anymore. It was about the power he had, the way he made her forget the guilt, the fear, even Alexei. One evening after dinner, Loren asked, "Why are you doing this for me?" Joseph smiled. "Because I believe in you. And because I can." It sounded sweet, almost romantic. But behind that smile, Joseph knew exactly what he was doing. He wasn't just paying her debts. He was taking her freedom. Every payment was a silent contract. Every loan he erased pulled her further away from Alexei. And the more she depended on him, the harder it was to imagine life without him. When the last debt was cleared, Loren felt relief. But her freedom was gone. That night, she sent Joseph a message. "I don't know how to thank you." He replied right away. "You already have." Loren didn't understand what he meant yet, but soon she would, because the man who erased her past was about to write her future, a future she couldn't escape. That night, as she lay beside Alexei in bed, her phone buzzed. A message from Joseph. "I'm proud of you. You're mine now." It started quietly, like a whisper she chose to ignore. Loren told herself it wasn't an affair. Not really. She wasn't in love with Joseph. She was just thankful. That's what she kept repeating, even as her gratitude turned into something much more dangerous. Their meetings became part of her routine. Coffee on Tuesdays, dinner on Fridays, sometimes weekends that she called work. Joseph never pressured her. He didn't rush things. He waited, patiently, carefully, until she was the one to cross the line. The first time it happened, it was in a quiet hotel outside Miami. The kind built for privacy. Tinted windows, private elevators, rooms with no trace of who had been there. Loren came there under the excuse of talking about new investments. She wore a soft blue dress, simple but elegant. Joseph greeted her like always, calm, confident, and in control. But that night, something felt different. They had dinner. The lights were low, music soft, wine poured slowly. Loren laughed more than she had in months. For a while, she forgot about Alexei, the kids, the pressure of always appearing perfect. She was just a woman, being seen, being heard. When Joseph touched her hand, she didn't pull away. When he leaned in, she didn't stop him. And when he kissed her, she let him. Afterward, the room went quiet. Loren wanted to feel guilty. She should have. But instead, she felt relief. For the first time in years, someone made her feel alive again. "Are you okay?" Joseph whispered. Loren nodded, though her chest hurt. "I shouldn't have." He gently placed a finger on her lips. "Don't. You've carried too much on your own. You deserve to feel again." Those words stayed with her long after that night. She went home and found Alexei asleep on the couch, the baby monitor beside him. He looked peaceful. He was the man she once promised forever to. She stood there for a long time, staring at him, her heart torn in two. Then she quietly went to bed, pretending nothing had changed. But everything had. The next day, she couldn't focus. Every vibration from her phone made her heart race. Every message from Joseph pulled her back into his world, full of secrets and adrenaline. He always knew what to say. "You looked beautiful last night. I can't stop thinking about you. You make me feel alive, too. It was exciting and terrifying. Weeks turned into months. Lauren and Joseph became experts at hiding. They met in different cities, stayed in hotels using fake names, and messaged through encrypted apps. Joseph sent her expensive gifts, a necklace here, a designer bag there, always with a note that said something simple but possessive. For my Lauren, she told herself it wasn't real. She could stop any time. But deep down, she knew she was addicted. Meanwhile, Alexei started to notice the changes. He'd wake up and find her already dressed and leaving. She spent hours on the phone, often stepped outside to talk, and seemed distracted at dinner. One night, he asked her gently, "Len, is something going on?" Her throat tightened. "No, of course not. Why would you ask that?" "You're different," he said quietly. "You don't talk to me anymore." She forced a smile. "I'm just tired. It's the kids, the work, everything." He nodded slowly, but his eyes said he didn't believe her. That night, Lauren couldn't sleep. She lay awake, staring at the ceiling, guilt weighing heavy on her. She wanted to confess, to tell him everything. But fear held her back. Fear of losing him. Fear of public shame. Fear of facing herself. Instead, she did the one thing that made it all worse. She called Joseph. He picked up after 2 rings. "Can't sleep again?" "No," she whispered. "Then don't be alone," he said. "Come to me." And she did. Again and again. Their secret affair became a routine. A rhythm of passion, lies, and escape. Lauren would kiss her husband goodbye in the morning and meet Joseph in the evening. Every time, she promised herself it would be the last. But every time, she fell deeper. Joseph now knew everything about her fears, her weaknesses, her dreams. He made her feel powerful, wanted, and safe. But behind his kindness was something darker. A quiet control that grew stronger each day. He began asking questions about Alexei, his job, his accounts, his savings. Lauren brushed it off as curiosity, but Joseph was calculating. He wanted to see how far she would go for him. Slowly, Lauren's life split in 2. There was the public Lauren, wife, mother, influencer, and the private Lauren, lover, liar, secret mistress. The woman everyone admired was fading. A stranger was taking her place. One morning, while brushing her hair, she saw her reflection and froze. The woman in the mirror didn't look like Lauren Brovarnik. Her eyes were tired. Her face looked haunted. Behind them was the truth she refused to face. She had crossed a line she could never uncross. And she didn't know it yet, but the secret she tried so hard to hide was about to come out in the most painful way. Because secrets, no matter how deep, always come to the surface. The morning felt normal. Sunlight came through the kitchen window. The kids laughed in the living room. Lauren poured herself coffee, but her hands shook. For weeks, she had felt dizzy, tired, and sick. First, she thought it was stress, then maybe anxiety. But deep down, she already knew. In the bathroom, she looked at the pregnancy test in her shaking hands. One line, then another. Positive. Her knees almost gave out. "No, this can't be happening," she whispered. But it was. The pregnancy wasn't planned. It couldn't have come at a worse time. Not when her marriage was falling apart. Not when she was living a lie. Her heart raced, stuck between 2 names, Alexei and Joseph. She stayed on the bathroom floor for hours, praying the baby belonged to her husband. But deep down, she already knew the truth. By afternoon, she forced herself to smile. She walked out, greeted Alexei, and lied when he asked if she was okay. "Just tired," she said softly. He smiled and told her to rest, not knowing his world was already falling apart. That night, unable to sleep, Lauren typed a message with shaking hands. "Joseph, I need to see you. It's urgent." He replied quickly. "Now, Lauren?" "Yes, please." An hour later, she sat in Joseph's car, heart pounding. "I'm pregnant," she whispered. He blinked. "Are you sure?" "I took 3 tests," she said, her voice breaking. He paused. "And you think it's mine?" Silence. Then Joseph said quietly, "We'll handle it together." Lauren began to cry. "You don't understand. If Alex finds out, everything's over." Joseph took her hand. No one has to know. Not yet.